All right, we are here with James Frazier. He got second place at ARG Indy. Said he wanted to go ahead and do some shout outs first.
Yeah, first shout out to my Team Collector Store, Team TCS. If you guys want to buy any cards or anything, we'll have the link to the website in the description of the video. TCS5 for 5% off anything you want to get on there. I want to go ahead and shout out Rob and Tyler for coming to the event with me. I want to shout out Drew Wetzler because he's my man. And shout out to everybody that was hanging out with me all weekend. It was a fun event. I got second place with True Draco at ARG Indy last weekend. And I'll go ahead and get into the profile.
Awesome, let's do it. So how many rounds was it?
So it was 7 rounds of Swiss. I had 5 wins, 0 losses, 2 ties. So I was third place after Swiss. And I played 1 Subterror, 1 Salamangreat, 3 Orcust, 2 Thunder in Swiss, and then top 8 was Orcust, top 4 was Orcust, and then in the finals, where I lost to Tyler Holland, he was Salamangreat. So.
All right, awesome.
All right, let's start with the monsters. This is pretty standard. I think you have to max out on all the good Draco monsters. There's only 7. Sometimes you draw too many, sometimes you still don't draw enough, but I think this ratio is just super correct, especially since I'm playing the Erupt build, so 7 is definitely needed. And on to the spells. Once again, you got to max out on these. They're not super great against like the combo decks. You don't get like super extra value out of them like in other matchups, but they're still just good enough to max out on. Your 5 copies of Diagram. Once again, you have to max out on it. 2 duality. I don't think 3 is correct. This deck has so much draw power, you never want to see 2 in the same turn. And if you're playing 2, the chances of that happening is, drastically lower. 2 desires, essentially the same thing, more or less. And then triple demise, because this is powerful enough to warrant the 3 copies, of course. That's it for the spells. Wasn't playing Upstart like I usually am. I just wanted to fit in another trap card. Onto the traps. The Draco trap cards. Apocalypse is actually better than Return, even though Return's limited for some reason. Even if this card was at 3, I would probably only play 2 of it. I think Apoc is just better. And onto the Floodgates. This card was definitely the best trap card in my deck all weekend. It's good against pretty much everything. I mean, it's okay against Striker even. Striker was my worst matchup. Thankfully, I didn't play any Striker this weekend. This is a good card. It was probably underperformed for me. But this card is probably better turn 1, whereas like this card's good turn 1, but also can be really good turn, like going second. So like that's why I think this is like a 2 of and this 3 of. Soul Drain and Skill Drain. Soul Drain stops Grave or Banished effects from activating, so it's good against Salad, Orcust, Thunder, everything pretty much. Skill Drain, obviously. Like I said before, I'm playing the Erupt build, so no extra deck. This card is, I was expecting a lot more Thunder, a lot of Thunder for this event. There was like a decent amount of Thunder, so I switched to the Erupt build from the extra deck build. 2 Crackdown. Once again, this card wasn't great either. In theory, it would be better than it was, but it was above average. It just wasn't amazing. And that's it for the main deck.
What's that bring the main deck count to?
40. And then to the side deck. Start with probably the worst card in my side all weekend. In theory, I wanted to play this against Salad going second just to stop the Dweller play, and I did do that once, and that was really good. But I was siding this in against Orcust at the beginning of the event, and I realized that like if they're able to like get too many Orcust monsters in graveyard, this card just isn't quite what it needs to be in that matchup, and I don't want to side this card just for the Salad matchup, so this will probably be something I cut. Have to look at that.
It's too bad, they're real pretty.
Yeah. 3 Sphere modes. This is essentially just for Thunder, but also like I guess rogue stuff like Pendulum and stuff. I dropped this a couple times and won every time I dropped it. It's just high impactful card. Lancia. Once again, this is for going second against Thunder. It's also good against Orcust. And something that came up a couple times this weekend was I'd actually like draw this mid-duel off of Demise or something, and actually set it in my spell and trap zone. Then on their turn, tribute a set spell with Apocalypse or Return. Use the spell, pop this, summon it, and then boom, they're locked under Lancia.
Oh, that's
so
neat.
Yeah, so that's something cool that came out. 3 border. This was the MVP of my side deck by far. I opened this card so many times when I was going first. Usually I don't draw it, but this weekend it was very kind to me. Basically says you win the game if you start with it. Its only out was Pankratops, and there's 2 ways you can stop that. You can either end with a trap monster in your hand to tribute summon, pop the Pankratops, or you can just end with this border, steal the Pankratops. So it was very good. The 1 order, I wanted to have something like at least a auto win against Striker. I also put this going first against Salad and Orchist just to stop twins and stuff. It was okay. And then 3 evenly, just for like had the mirror match or Striker or something. I wanted a high impactful card. It was okay at best, but you know it got the job done.
So you talk about some of the cards that would come out. What would be the ones that you definitely want to put in?
There isn't any cards that I have in my mind that I want to put in right now. I just know the cards that kind of underperformed, and I'll have to look at that going forward.
Okay, awesome. All right, anything else you want to say?
I think that's it.
Fantastic, thank you.
Mm-hmm.